there's a scary trend that we need to talk about. Brain rot. It's become so prominent in the cultural zeitgeist that Oxford University Press, the makers of the Oxford English Dictionary, actually named brain rot their word of 2024. And I find this digital social phenomenon concerning. Let's unpack what brain rot is, why it's become so popular, and most importantly, why this is actually a disturbing development that we need to keep an eye on, and 3 steps to push back against this detrimental impact. My name's Kate, and I want you to live your life to the fullest. I make content on intentional living, financial literacy, and digital detoxing. So according to Oxford, brain rot describes the decline of our mental state due to consuming mindless or trivial content on repeat. So think endless TikTok scrolling or binge watching, overly simplistic YouTube shorts. Eerily enough, I actually called this out as the digital trend that I was most concerned about in the video I made on why I deleted social media, so I encourage you to check that out. But when I saw that Oxford named brain rot the word of the year for 2024, I knew I need to come and talk to you guys about this. Just to quickly touch on the history of the phrase brain rot, it was actually first seen in recorded use in 1854 in Walden by Thoreau. This is a book where he basically retreats from society and lives in nature for a while and starts to develop these conclusions about society and himself from being apart from it. And as part of his conclusions that he comes to from living this simplistic lifestyle, Thoreau critiques the fact that he feels society is really devaluing complex thinking and individual thoughts, favoring those that are more simplistic, and generally pointing out a trend that he was seeing in mental decline and intellectual aptitude. And he wrote, "While England endeavors to cure the potato rot, will not any endeavor to cure the brain rot, which prevails so much more widely and fatally?" Interesting that he thought that brain rot was more fatal than the potato rot. But this term, of course, has taken on a new significance in this contemporary digital age. So why has this term, something that's inherently negative, become the word of the year for 2024? The short answer is it resonates, and Oxford picks a word that feels like a trending fad in our social norms. But the longer answer is it is a reflection of how our society has become so deeply entrenched in digital escapism. And that is what I find most concerning. It's not hard to fathom why brain rot has exploded in popularity. We live in a world of constant stimulation. The algorithms of social media platforms are designed to keep us engaged, or reading between the lines, addicted. And for all of us, it works. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, turning to TikTok or Instagram can feel like a very easy way to escape. And isn't there some sort of dark irony there? We're using low effort, low brow content to unwind from our very high effort, high stress daily lives. But here's the catch. What feels like relaxation is actually starting to rewire our brains. Brain rot shouldn't be taken as just this funny, catchy term that people are throwing around on TikTok. Like, oh, I just need to rot for a little bit, or like TikTok brain rot, it's causing me brain rot. All of this is actually a larger warning sign. It's so early in our human history to really understand the full impacts of the amount that we are consuming digital content, but early studies show that overconsumption of this sort of digital content lowers our attention spans, reduces our critical thinking, and increases mental fatigue. And for me, at least, this checks out. This definitely makes sense and is in line with my experience. How often do you actually feel energized or inspired after you've been on a TikTok binge? Like when you come to an hour later and you have just spent so much time scrolling or doom scrolling, it doesn't feel good. And yet we've started to normalize this cycle and even have a phrase, a catchy phrase that Oxford is naming the word of the year that encapsulates this. It's very interesting to me. And when we lean into this content that's designed to be mindless, especially when we're escaping from other high stress things in our real lives, we're robbing ourselves from real growth and agency. We humans are wired to think creatively and solve problems, learn, and take action in life. But if we spend hours zoning out, and I have certainly been there as someone who's been formerly addicted to social media, we're giving up on that potential. And here's why that matters at a broader scale. Brain rot isn't an individual issue, it's a societal issue. When large swaths of people disengage from critical thinking and embrace this type of passive consumption, it creates a culture of apathy and disconnectedness. This can lead to more individualistic thinking, disengagement from societal issues, runaway overconsumption, stifling of innovation, and can even erode our senses of community. And that level of apathy is dangerous. And this isn't about hating TikTok or Instagram. This is more about asking ourselves the hard questions. Are we really okay with losing our capacity for deep thought? And are we okay letting escapism replace action and taking agency in life? So now that I've gone all digital alarmist on you, there are a couple things that we can all do to push back against brain rot and just generally take control of our lives and our digital consumption. I've made a whole other video on ways that I like to digitally detox, but today I wanted to keep it to 3 things that we can do to push back on brain rot. The first thing that we can do is be intentional with our media consumption. When you find yourself starting to reach for your phone, take a minute, pause, and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I looking to learn or connect or grow? Or am I trying to escape or avoid some other challenges in my life or emotions that I don't want to tap into? Reflecting on your motivation behind your digital consumption can help you recognize unhealthy patterns and start to break them. The second thing you can do is set firm boundaries with yourself and the way that you consume digital content. You can create tech-free times or activities like making sure you're not on your phone at dinner or setting a time each night before bed where you try and turn off your phone and not end up scrolling in bed till you eventually pass out. These small changes can help your brain take a break and also let you focus and get back in touch with the world around you. This makes it easier to stay present, clear-headed, and more in touch with yourself. The third thing that you can do, I know you're already good at because you've made it to this point in the video, but seek out challenging content. This is the type of content that I'm trying to make. So if you have enjoyed this so far, feel free to subscribe to follow along for more. But in addition to thought-provoking digital content, you could also read a book, take up a hobby, or just make sure that you are forming engaging and meaningful personal connections where you can have stimulating conversations with friends, family, loved ones. This is a really important step to take for any of us who want to reclaim our brains one intentional step at a time. Have you ever felt the impacts of brain rot? Let me know in the comments down below. I certainly have, so I'd love to have a conversation about this. If any of this resonated, throw this video a like, check out some of my content about similar topics, and let's all take back our agency together. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk again soon. Bye.